says it's easier to keep her head down. She looks at you strange when you say there's hope. That's how rebellions work, don't you know? Rebel girl, rebel girl, rebel girl, they know you. It's gonna be our time. Bring it.
That's Rebel Girl. Of course, that must mean that we're live today. Joining me, James Razile, is once and always he's not the Dark Lord, but he's essentially the Dark Lord. Andrew Fantasia joining me today. Andrew, how's it going?
I want that on my tombstone. Essentially a Dark Lord.
Essentially a Dark Lord. We all like to say that Ron McDonald is the Dark Lord, but let's be honest, it's you. It's always been you, Fredo.
I want to give a little shout out to Din Skysinger, whose song Rebel Girl we've been using for the opening of this. It's such a fun song, and I love that he puts all this work making this great music that happens to be Star Wars related.
Yeah.
I hope that song gets so big that there are women out there who get Rebel Girl tattoos because of the song. That's what I want.
Absolutely, and spoiler alert, he is part of our plans for Star Wars Celebration 2020 in Anaheim. So, just so everyone knows, he will be joining us at some point on one of our things that we will be doing in Anaheim. So just sharing this around. Tell your friends, everybody that's watching right now. Tell everybody. We need to spread the word. This is a Never Tell Me the Odds, live Never Tell Me the Odds. Hello, Jonathan. Hello, Mr. Rez. Thanks for joining us. So we weren't able to go live on Monday. I was sick and busy, and Andrew is sick and twisted. So it was it was a weird combination of the two. But we weren't able to
I called you up and I was like, "You want to burn an orphanage?" And you were like, "I have the flu."
That's actually what happened. So we couldn't do it, but we're here now to do this one today. It's not going to be a super long one, unfortunately. Hi, Pete. But we're going to do a Never Tell Me the Odds, a live Never Tell Me the Odds. If you guys have an odd you want to hear, let us know. We're going to be on until 8:30 p.m. To hear your odds. So it's going to be a lot of fun doing that. We have a couple odds that we're going to do. So let's get started, I guess, Andrew. Miles says, How is everyone doing tonight? When I learn how to read, it's going to go a lot better. I'll tell you that. Okay, Andrew, let's start with the odds. I will go first because I think my odd is splendid. It's not. All right, what are the odds?
I like splendid things.
Well, you know what? I don't know about you, but the Mandalorian's coming out. I'm getting a little bit excited about the Mandalorian. Not as much as I know some people are like, I'm more excited for Mandalorian than Rise of Skywalker, and I've got to be honest, I'm not there yet. I might get. I mean, look, I'm probably going to be equally as excited, but that teaser trailer for the Rise of Skywalker has me buying Vanity Fair magazines and rewatching Force Awakens and Rise of and The Last Jedi. That's how powerful that thing was for me. So I can't wait for that. Thanks, Jonathan. Jonathan says another sweet tea, James. This one, Andrew, do you remember the story of this T-shirt?
Oh, I don't remember the story, but I remember you telling me, like, Andrew, you have to play Tiny Death Star. Yeah. And I was like, James, I don't know how you got my number, but if I promise to download the game, will you please stop calling me?
That's exactly
and I'm very glad you did that because I love Tiny Death Star, and apparently now it's unavailable.
Yes.
So any device that has it is special.
No, I think even if you have it, they're like, you can't use it because I have it and I can't access it, and I'm really upset because I love playing it. And I didn't play it for a little while. Now it's gone, so that depressed me. But yes, so what happened was I was obsessed with this game, and every year at Easter, there's this 40-day, 40-night period that is referred to as Lent. And as a child, I never gave anything up. And then when I got older, I was like, I'm drinking too much pop. And so I was like, you know what? For Lent, I'm going to So I started giving up something every 40 days just for personally. I just want to do this for me. And one year, I didn't know what to do. And Aaron's like, you're playing Tiny Death Star. Give it up. And then that year, I think it was Superhero Stuff, had this shirt for sale at my birthday, which is now in June. And I was like, I need this shirt. Andrew, tell Aaron I need this shirt. And you on Facebook, it came up as a memory recently. It was like, Andrew, help me out here. Tell Aaron I need the shirt. And she ended up getting me this for my birthday. So kudos to her. Kudos to you. Thank you for that. Mr. Pete says, the Mr. Pete channel needs 700 subs. Mr. Pete channel, how many subs do you have right now? And have we subbed? Let us know. Anyway, never tell me the odds. I'll go first. Our first odd. The odds of Prince Shizor from the Shadows of the Empire novelization video game, action figures, all that line, appearing in The Mandalorian. Prince Shizor appearing in some capacity in The Mandalorian. The reality is the Empire is gone, essentially, all but gone. So it's going to be all gang related. We saw that in Solo, right? Like the gangs, even in Solo before during the Imperial reign, have kind of become the hierarchy. And so now that the Empire is gone, gangs are going to be even higher. So if there's a chance to put Shizor in something, Mandalorian seems like a good spot to me. What about you, Andrew?
Yeah, man, that's a good question. And I'm in the same boat as you. Like, I am pumped for Mandalorian, but I spent all my money on tickets for the Rise of Skywalker hype train. I bought out every seat on that train, and I'm just sitting there stretched out like Tony Montana. I think, from what I've gathered, it sounds like Filoni and Favreau are really going balls to the wall here in terms of like what they're throwing in. And I think we've heard a lot of comments too from people saying like, I can't believe how much these dudes know and how much they put into Mandalorian. So I'm going to say the odds of Prince Shizor showing up are 82%. I think it's going to be very likely that they pull from canon like that. Yeah.
That's a great point, because they even say, Jon Favreau even says, hey, we watched the Ewok movies. And the reality is the Thrawn trilogy was kind of the big kickoff to Star Wars is bigger than you know. Right? That was like, Star Wars has been dormant for a while. Guess what? It's actually bigger than you think. But Shadows of the Empire was this event before the special editions that even someone like me who, when the Thrawn stuff came out, I was too young to care. Like I was at that age where I was over Star Wars and I was like 10, 11, whatever. I'm over Star Wars. Does not matter to me. So and plus that's probably a higher reading level than I was at as well. So even, but then when Shadows of the Empire came, it was a book, comic, video game, motion picture, soundtrack. It had everything around it, and it fit in between Empire and Jedi, and that's a story that I think everybody was curious about. And if you're gonna go back and you're gonna rewatch, the Ewok movies and do all of your research, how do you ignore Shadows of the Empire? But I'm gonna go 23%.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. That's how. Apparently, there's the answer to your question.
Well, I mean, should I maybe eventually, but I don't see season 1 him coming up. Just because you can't ignore it, but also if there's no room for a Shizor type. Now, is Shizor the MacGuffin, Andrew?
We don't know. I mean, I don't know. Whatever those people who got to see that footage have seen between them and that screen. But we don't know what bounty the Mandalorian is after. So it could very well be a Shizor kind of figure. The word Black Sun has kind of been peppered throughout canon lately. Not in any serious way, but in a way to kind of remind us that, yeah, it's still a thing. This is still real. So I guarantee you, because it's Filoni and Favreau, and they're so, they're in such a mindset that like somebody like Pablo Hidalgo or Lee Chi would be in, that I think when it came down to being in that writer's room and they're like, oh, we need a crime lord at this point. Should we make up a generic one? No, wait. There's this green guy who got all Harvey Weinstein on Leia one time. Let's throw that in. So I think it's a very likely situation that they, A, would need a crime lord at some point, and B, would draw from old canon Saw Gerrera style.
But yeah, seriously, Saw Gerrera, the greatest thing to come out of the Clone Wars. And maybe aside from Ahsoka. But like, who saw that one coming? Like he's everywhere now. He is their glue that they're gonna sprinkle everywhere because he showed up in a spin-off movie. To put him in a movie, all of a sudden he can be in anything they want him to be in. It's remarkable, and I, and that's the thing with Solo, with Darth Maul showing up in Solo is okay. People will want to go back, figure out why. But I remember when I saw it, you were there when I saw it, and my dad was like, "What?" I thought my dad was like, "I thought he died," but he wasn't confused. He was intrigued. Even though he didn't really, my dad, he didn't like Solo that much because there was a train in it, right? Like that, so we'll take what he says with a grain of salt. But still, like he wasn't like, how is he still alive? He was like, well, I thought he died. He did, but there's more to the story, and I think they were finally figuring that out, and then everybody was mad and no one saw the movie. So
I know, and it's a shame because I feel like Pasquale's reaction right there coming out of that theater is what the filmmakers hoped for casual fans. They hoped for that, unnegative look at like, wow, I thought he was dead. What does this mean? As opposed to, hey, they can't do that. Like they got the right reaction out of your dad, and I'm sure out of plenty of other people. So it's not like they, fumbled on that. It's not like they didn't hit the mark when it comes to Maul. So I don't know.
I think what, if Maul had a scene like Vader, I think that movie probably makes more money and people are talking about it a lot more. Because that's their Vader moment. It just doesn't have the impact of Vader because he doesn't take down every single rebel. Such a good scene watching Rogue One tomorrow night. #yay. Andrew. So anyway, guys, this is a live Never Tell Me the Odds. If you have an odd you wanted to hear us say it on the side. We're going to try to look at it. There's a lot of talk going on. Thanks so much. That's awesome. If you want to make sure we get to it, there is a super chat. It's a money sign. I don't want to sound like I'm whoring us out, but it's a money sign. So do that and we'll definitely get a look at it. Otherwise, it might get lost in there. But Andrew, it's your turn. You're up next. What is your first odd today?
My first odd today, I'm going to do a little callback to the days of Celebration Chicago when I brought this up. I turned out to be very wrong.
Subtle
I turned
brag.
out to be very wrong when I made this assumption, but I think there's still a chance. What are the odds, James? What are the odds, fellow scumbags watching at home, that Ahsoka Tano shows up in Jedi Fallen Order, and she's like, "Hey, what's up? I'm a Jedi, and I used to be anyway." And Cal Kestis is like, "That's cool," and then that's it.
See, I'm all for more Ahsoka. Our good friend of the channel, Patreon, Aaron Quinton, is petitioning for a live-action Ahsoka film. Not a legit petition like there are out there right now to make Game of Thrones not canon, but like a subtle, like on Twitter, like, please just give me a live-action Ahsoka. And I don't know if we'll ever get a live-action Ahsoka. But I think like Saw Gerrera, that's a character that they've been sprinkling around, but she has not transitioned to the mainstream. Can I say mainstream? Is that fair? Because she lives
that's fair.
She lives in the animated world, which is fine, and it's not lesser, but it's not the motion pictures like Saw. But I think what's the difference between the video game world and the animated world?
Well, I mean, the way I look at it is, okay, you have 5 mediums, more or less, that Star Wars likes to tell its stories. You've got film and TV. You've got animation, novels, comics, and video games. She lives in the TV world. She lives in the animation world. She's a cartoon, whatever, so that's one that she's in. Other than that, you don't have a lot of wiggle room in terms of like putting her in something where we can get Ashley Eckstein playing the role again. Because if they put her in film, we always run that risk of them saying, "Oh, well, let's get somebody who looks more like Ahsoka or something." Like, we always run the risk that they would cast her differently. And I think a lot of fans would kind of be bummed out because Ashley Eckstein's kind of synonymous with Ahsoka now. Their names both start with A too. It just works. But put her in a video game. You render her to look like she did in Clone Wars, albeit, a little bit maybe sleeker to fit the animation of Jedi Fallen Order. you slap a microphone in a room with Ashley Eckstein. You're like, Ashley, would you please read these lines? She'd be like, sure, because I'm Ahsoka Tano. And she reads the lines. And there you go. You've got Ahsoka showing up in another medium, but it's still Miss Ashley. So I think that's a win-win-win.
It definitely
right?
is.
That's why so I think that the odds of them doing it are maybe around 62%, but I think should they do it, 100%. Like she lends herself so well to it, and she's just a cool video gamey character. Like I want to put a joystick in my hand and control Ahsoka Tano and make her swing her lightsabers around, because she's a fun, cool character that I would want to get behind like that.
I just think that she's such a Filoni character.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't know where season 7 of Clone Wars goes. So we don't know where she departs to. Doesn't make sense that she would contact another Jedi after Order 66. Or she's not a Jedi. She probably isn't a Jedi. I'm going to go full Brock on this one, because I think it makes a lot of sense. It would be a cool. And you know what? Can I do a spoiler for the Spider-Man game?
Okay.
Okay, I won't do it. But
yes.
someone is in Spider-Man and ends up becoming who you know they are in Spider-Man. But they're in there, and yeah, I think it makes sense.
It's Peter Parker, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Peter Parker. That's exactly who it is. I think it makes sense. I'm still gonna go full Brock though. It's just the minute you put her in there, you're saying that during that period of time, this is where she was. And I don't know if Ahsoka's the character they're going to do that with. If it's not, I mean, obviously they would call Mr. David Filoni about it, but he might be like, well, actually, she was training with the Bendu at that time. So I got to go full Brock, because it's such a tough one, man. It totally could happen.
You know what? Even though I didn't give it the highest odd, I'm going to double down on this, James. I'm gonna be bold here. We're gonna add this to the list of things that Andrew is adamant about. We got Rey Natasha Palpatine. We got C-3PO having his moment in Rise of Skywalker. We're gonna add this Ahsoka Tano in Jedi Fallen Order. I'm putting it on the board, baby. It's up there in Andrew's crazy declarations. It's gonna be a thing.
The board of disappointment.
The board of disappointment.
That's what it's called. All right, let's go into our next odd. This one we're gonna go to the chat. We got Jonathan Davis is sending us
Jonathan Davis
an odd. So if you guys have an odd, put it down there. We'll try to get to them if we can. If not, hit that super chat button. We'll definitely read it. But tell me the odds. Ray goes back to Octo.
Oh, like period ever or in Rise of Skywalker?
I think we could say period ever is the Rise of Skywalker. So let's treat Rise of Skywalker as the end of Rey, Finn, Poe, Luke, Han, Leia, all of them. This is the end. This is it. Okay. There's no more. There's no going forward. This is it.
I'm going to say 45%.
Why?
She, I think because she feels, she knows, Luke is dead. Spoilers. I think there's nothing left on that island for her. I think it's a sense of like, the caretakers don't like me very much anyway, and if I go back, there's just a robe on a rock. Unless there was something important in that first Jedi temple that she needs to take care of, I think she's done there. Like, she took the books, so like her connection there is just sort of finished in a good way. She's like, peace and purpose. Luke is gone. I'm moving on. So yeah, I think that's gonna be something that she doesn't need to worry about. She's got Reylo on her mind, James. She's a young woman in the heat of love.
Oh God, you're totally mocking everyone right now. Yeah, I don't think she's going back. I'm gonna go 11.3.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I just don't think she's going back. I think it served its purpose in The Last Jedi. She's done everything she needs to do there. Why would she go back? There's nothing there. She wants to go back to Jakku. She didn't do that yet. I think we're going back to Jakku though. I think that's the ending of this movie is going to be. Actually, I don't know. I made that up. I'm going to go 11.3%. I'm going back to Acto because that's it. Okay, here we go. We got another one from Jamie M. Odds. Batu is in episode 9.
Oh, I like this. I think the odds of it being in episode 9 are 75%, but I think it's going to be a really quickie thing, kind of like we got that little montage of planets in Revenge of the Sith, like during Order 66. I think we're going to get something like that in this movie, like a quickie little montage of something. And I think Batu's going to be thrown in there because it makes perfect sense at this point.
I'm going to go 41.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think they're going to shy away from it in the movies because the minute you put it in the movies, then it kind of alters what it is, and they want it to kind of be its own thing living in the universe. So they will not touch it in the movie. Now, maybe a montage piece, like when you said Coruscant in the end of Return of the Jedi, whatever, but I just don't think that's going to happen. So that's where I stand on that one. Okay. Well, I saw another one here before we get into my next one, Andrew. Okay, this is from Mr. Pete's channel. He needs 700 subs. He needs 700 subs. Come on. 643. Almost there. Will we ever see more canon saber colors like orange or gold? Orange or gold lightsabers, like in the Skywalker saga. I'm gonna go 1%. In Benioff and Weiss's, whatever they're doing, I'm going to go 51%.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I love this question. I'm going to go in a similar vein than you. Skywalker saga, yeah, I'm going to say like maybe a 5% chance we see a new color. But if Benioff and Weiss go Old Republic, 98%. 98%. We're seeing some yellow. I can guarantee we're seeing some yellow.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think. I mean, it's great that you only have the 3 colors right now, or 4 if you can include the white. It's great, but give us like at some point. And plus, Galaxy's Edge, Batu, they're going to want to sell more. They're going to want to sell more.
Yeah.
So anyway,
yeah.
Okay, wait. Side Akbar, Andrew, you go to Galaxy's Edge, you build your own lightsaber. So you pick a holocron color, but you don't get to pick the owner of that holocron. So the owners are who are they? They're, I think, Obi-Wan, Luke, I want to say, Dooku, Vader, Maul, Emperor. Who would you? Oh, you want Emperor? Okay, let's just move on. Why am I even asking this question? All right.
I'm glad you moved on because I have no idea what the holocrons do there.
Oh, really? Well, they light up your lightsaber, and then if you put it in... No, sorry, not... So the kyber crystal. Sorry, kyber crystal. But if you put that kyber crystal into a holocron, the voice of said character speaks to you, reportedly. By the way, we got some friends of the show have sent some emails about Galaxy's Edge, and we're going to be getting a video in the coming little while. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Wicked.
As well. All right, Andrew, here we go. My final odd for the day. The odds of Rey being both a Palpatine and a Skywalker. How did that be? So, I don't know. Let's just spitball here. Nobody get mad at me. What if? Because nobody knows yet, so let's not pretend that we know the answers unless you're J.J. Abrams. And if you are, come forward.
If you are JJ, super chat us, please. You can afford it.
SheVP, let's say SheVP creates Anakin through the Force.
Yeah.
Or, hey, he's a Skywalker. And SheVP creates Rey or Rey's parents through the Force. Palpatine, right? So you have those two. So because SheVP created them both, I don't know where the name Skywalker comes from. Was that Shmi's? It's never really been confirmed that she was born from Skywalker namesake, right? Like, who knows where the name Skywalker? Maybe she married somebody named Sheev Skywalker. So anyway, basically, maybe not exactly the same, but she could be part Skywalker, part Palpatine in a matter of Force speaking.
Mm-hmm. I think there's a lot of, you're right, there's a lot of different ways that she could be a Palpatine or a Skywalker or both. Some of them involve like literal like blood lineage. My dad was from this and my mom was from that. And some of them involve midi-chlorians and whatnot. It gets very complicated. So I'm just going to sort of dull it down to a really basic broad edge and say the odds of her being both Palpatine and Skywalker are 26%.
Yeah, I think it'd be a really interesting dynamic if they pulled that one off. I don't know how you do it though. Like, I'm really starting to think that she's a SheVP descendant, bloodline,
Descendant, yeah.
bloodline.
Great book.
I'm gonna go 19%. I hope this doesn't turn out like our last Jedi odds, where all the odds were like, will Snoke die? Will Phasma die? And we all were like, probably not, and it all happened. I hope we're off from that. But look, we've only got as of tomorrow, Andrew Fantasia, we have 6 months to go. Exactly 6 months.
That's right.
The world premiere, as of right now, the world premiere will already have been taken place. Press will have already seen this. Probably reviews will be slowly trickling in as we, like, in 6 months from right now. We'll be like, oh my god, your video for 'Twas the Night Before Star Wars is gonna come up. It's happening.
Mm-hmm.
We're so close. It's so
anyway, real.
50%. Okay. Sam Petterface says 50% Maul or Kenobi daughter. All right, Andrew, your final odd for today.
Okay. You're probably gonna hate me for this one.
No, I already hate you. I already hate you.
You already hate you, so I have nothing to worry about here. Before the show, I was a little bit unprepared, so I was trying to come up with some odds, and I came up with one odd. And James said, "That's good, but save that because that's too big. We want to save that and talk about it for a show." So I scrambled to come up with another odd, and I feel like I fell into the same trap. But right now, my mindset is, screw it. I'm throwing this huge odd at you.
You know what? We only have 13 people watching right now. 41 in total have watched. We could duplicate everything we mentioned today.
Yes, we can. So prepare your mind and body for this, James. What are the odds that before the year 2035, we get Star Wars Episode 10?
Okay, well, yesterday we were talking on the telephone.
Yes.
And I said to you, I hope that Benioff and Weiss, whatever they're doing, is either Episode 10, but has nothing to do with anything, or Episode 21. I'm really hoping 21.
That would be so interesting if they called it 20.
I think it would be totally cool. And then nobody would be confused as to what the heck it is. They'd be like, well, it's episode 21. And then people would be like, how's it 21? They're like, well, it started at 4. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, really. So then that gives, Disney Lucasfilm time to go back and be like, well, here's episode 10, 11, to get to that spot. It's probably highly, highly unlikely. But in 30 years, do we get 10? Absolutely. I'm going to go 90%.
Not 30 years. Before the year 2035. So in 16 years.
Hold on, we gotta. Okay, before 2035. 87%.
Ooh, that is. I like that confidence.
I think you do. Here's the only caveat to that is the Rian Johnson trilogy, if that's happening or not. If it's happening, all of a sudden, no, even if it happens, the timeline works out that by then we would hit episode 10. But the thing is, they say this is the end of the Skywalker saga. But you know what? If the Benioff and Weiss thing ends up being meh in the eyes of people, viewers, and then the Rian Johnson thing is met with whatever, they might be like, well, we need to get Rey. We need to pull Rey out of the ashes. We need to grab Rey. We need to grab Finn. We need to grab Poe. We need to grab something and bring it all back to what we know, because which is I think they should have done that from the start, is just make Rey and this new gang kind of, they focus on that and have Luke, Han, and Leia just kind of, which they kind of are, just kind of be there. The problem is the minute you're like, we're looking for Luke is the most important person in the galaxy, you've made it all about Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
So but I can see that happening, because I think at some point, I'm having not seen Rise of Skywalker, obviously, I think we're all gonna want to know what happens after this. Even if let's say Rey, Finn, Poe, Kylo, Hux, Leia, Billy Lord, I don't know her name. Snap probably won't. Easy XD or whatever. Even if they all die, unless the galaxy implodes and ceases to exist, we're always going to want to know, not want to know, but be intrigued by what comes next. That's just human nature. We're always going to want to know. If you say, if I complete a story and then Andrew, you're like, well, guess what? I'm picking up this story. People will be like, how did that happen? I'm going to watch it. And I think inevitably Lucasfilm will do that. I think 2035 is actually a good year.
Thank you. I've always been, like, as much as I love, and I do love the idea of the old Republic, of ancient Star Wars galaxy, as much as, like, I am chomping at the bit to see old Republic stuff, but as much as I am also super curious and interested in, like, what does the galaxy look like 500 years after Return of the Jedi? What does the galaxy look like at that point? That interests me as well, too. I never read the Dark Horse comic Legacy, which is about Luke's great-grandson. I'm not typically interested in reading, like, Legends stuff, but that is one thing where I would make an exception, and, like, I would flip through Legacy and see what happened there. If anybody's read it who's watching, let me know. Let me know what you thought of Legacy. So that time period really catches my interest, too. I'm a fan of things having a definitive ending. So if they're going to say episode 9 is the end, I feel like I would be a little bit disappointed if, in 15 years they're like episode 10, unless the only way I would be, I think, cool with that is, like you're saying, okay, Poe is an older gentleman, Rey is an older woman, and it has nothing to do with the Skywalkers or anything. It's some new characters named Billy and Craig, and it's their story. And they're not fighting the Emperor or the First Order. They might not even be Jedi. It's just Billy and Craig doing something. But Poe and Rey are around, so it's continuing. So it's episode 10. I guess that's the only way I could get behind it. But I love the idea of it being like an episode 21, like you're saying, and they just jump forward in the future a bunch. So the idea that we get a 10 before 2035, I'm going to say the odds are 27%. I hope it's just new stuff. I hope it's stuff that's far in the future, far in the past, or completely parallel. It's if the Benioff and Weiss stuff or the Rian Johnson stuff is set in, like, the same day as A New Hope, but it's somewhere completely different. It doesn't even touch upon what happens in A New Hope. That's cool too.
That's weird, but I agree. But the thing is, you could argue that Return of the Jedi is a definitive ending. All loose ends are wrapped up in that movie. The saga ends essentially.
Except, where did Nine Numb come from, James?
Oh,
Who are his parents? What is his backstory? What does he want?
I was going to say, my biggest question was, what happens to Akbar? He dies horribly. All right, we got a super chat. Thank you so much. Mr. Pete channel needs 700 subs. Everybody, you need to subscribe.
Oh my God, thank you so much.
To the Mr. Pete channel. He needs 700 subs. 643. I don't know. Maybe Mr. Pete channel has gone up from 643 when we last spoke earlier in this live stream.
I hope so.
Here we go. The odds. So this is a good one. This is one that we're going to be talking about for the next 6 months. Exactly. The odds that Kylo dies, good or bad, in 9.
Because I want it to happen, I'm going to say 95%.
What? Oh, why do you want it to happen? Piss everybody off, Andrew. Piss them off.
Because let me tell you something about Kylo Ren and Rey. No, I want it to happen because I think it really hammers home the point that the Skywalker saga is ending if we kill the last Skywalker. Whether or not Leia stays alive, notwithstanding, because she's an old lady, she'll be luminous too someday, like she says in the comic. So if we end the Skywalker thing and we tie that into, like we've talked about this before, in order to kill Palpatine, you have to end what he created, this Skywalker bloodline of quasi-Horcruxes. You need to stop that to stop him. That's such a cool story thing. It gives it this really neat like sacrifice element to it. It really, again, to me, makes me think of how interesting the future is if like 500 years from now, there's like a group of people who worship the Skywalkers as like Jesus figures because like they died to save the world from evil and stuff like that. Like there's so much fun you could do with the legends of the Skywalkers in the future. And I think by having them all die out at the end of this makes that better.
I'm just reading all the. Your Girls with Sabers agrees with you. They hate Kylo Ren and Rey.
I know, right?
I'm just joking.
Oh.
Hi, Girls with Sabers. By the way, next Friday, June 28th, on Spotify, on Apple iTunes, and on Google Play Music, and I think Stitcher, maybe not yet. Check out the Digital Charcuterie Podcast Network. Outlander Club Podcast will be interviewing Girls with Sabers about their Star Wars fandom, and it is an awesome conversation. So check that out. It's all up live right now. Not that interview, that goes next Friday, but right now you can get episode 1 to 30 of the Rebels Come podcast on there. So check it out. That's the Digital Charcuterie Podcast Network on, what did I say? Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Play. And I don't know about Stitcher. Maybe Stitcher. I'm not sure. All right, so here we go. My odds on Kylo Ren dying good or bad in episode 9. Oh, man, that is a tough one. Oh, here we go. Ready? I'm going to go 51%. Oh, I don't know if I like that. I like the comment. I can't remember who said it, but Kylo dies, not Ben. I like that one.
Very nice.
Yeah, that I like. I've heard that before. I think Girls with Saber might say that on the Atlantic Club. My head hurts. I don't know, because what if he's not? Bear with me. What if he's not a Skywalker? Bear with me. And I'm not saying that Han had the affair and all that nonsense. I'm not saying that. Which is accurate. That actually is what happened. He's such a... Okay. Hold on a second. First of all, Chopper action figure.
Mm-hmm.
Kylo Ren action figure.
Mm-hmm.
Kylo Ren action figure. That's not the point of this, by the way. Gonk droid enamel pin. But, okay. You see this? You see that? You see that?
Yes. Yeah.
He's on Pisana. So that video of our heroes turning and that red reflection in C3, which I first saw in the Girls with Sabers Twitter feed, they have to be looking at Kylo. Obviously, that has to be on Pisana. He obviously catches up with them. And the Knights of Ren, we know, are on Pisana from that desert thing. So they're all there. And my nephew pointed out that he's killing the Knights of Ren in that clip in the teaser trailer. And 9-year-olds pick up on things because they're innocent. They don't think of things like, we don't overanalyze. They're just like, he's a good guy. What?
Yeah.
So I just don't know if he's going to die. That's the thing. Is the answer just to kill him? Is the ending of the Skywalker saga you just kill all the Skywalkers? I don't know. That just seems like almost a cop-out. Like, yeah, we're going to end it. Dead. Isn't it more satisfying if the end of the Skywalker saga ends the way the prophecy said, to bring balance, true balance to the Force? It starts with Anakin, ends with Ben.
You don't find that dying to kill Palpatine brings balance? You don't find that would be the case?
No, because that's just a cop-out. Well, how does dying bring balance? Then why even create the chosen one?
Mm-hmm.
He's going to live. I don't want to give a nod, but he's going to live.
Even if he dies, I feel like his hair will come back to life and kill everybody.
It's not called the fall of Skywalker, guys. But what if Rey is the Skywalker that rises? Or what if it's Luke? It could just be Luke. It's going to be Ben. Ben's not going to die. He's going to be good. End of discussion. Look, this one he has a scar, and this one he doesn't. Scar. No scar.
Do you ever take them out of the box and play with them when no one's around?
Does it look like I've taken these out of the box? You know what? These were at Brock's. I just got them back from the set over at Brock's. He just gave it to me when I went to Niagara Falls. So this is actually the first time I've looked at them since going there. So that's exciting for nobody.
Because the beauty of action figures is that you can create your own canon with them. So you can make him friends with Rey. Maybe he goes on a like a Thelma and Louise style road trip with Finn, and the two of them bond. You can do all kinds of things with those figures.
His hair is the chosen one. It's true, actually. He's got a wicked mane. I'll say that. I don't know. I just look. Kylo Ren is.
He does.
He's a super intriguing villain, if he even is a villain. There's layers to Kylo, and I don't even think after 2 movies we've scratched the surface of those layers. And you know, I rewatched The Last Jedi the other day, and Snoke said something to Rey and Kylo that really has me thinking: is the relationship between Rey and Kylo based on a lie? Kind of like how the Jedi Order was tricked in a lie. Is it like that? And are we being fooled by this lie as well? That's what I think. I think we should end it on that note. What do you think?
I think that is a good note to end, but I do want to bring up one more thing because it's been in the back of my mind now since we started the episode, and it has to do with Tiny Death Star. Okay, if anybody out there watching knows the answer to this, if anybody is like either app savvy or lawyer savvy or what have you, if anybody knows the answer, please let me know. Here's my question. You said, James, that you can no longer play Tiny Death Star on the device that you had it on. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I have it on my iPad, and it's an older iPad. It has like the old Mac OS. I haven't updated it in a while, and I can still play Tiny Death Star. I'm probably certain that if I update the iPad, I won't be able to anymore. But as it stands right now, I can play Tiny Death Star a bunch, and I'm fine. However, one thing I've never done yet is buy things in Tiny Death Star, like actually spend money on like my iTunes account and be like, let me buy 50 Imperial bucks. So if I try to do that, who does that money go to? Because apparently the company, cease and desist, Disney not letting them do that. So can I still buy things in Tiny Death Star? Is that still possible? I want to know. I'm an inquiring mind, and I want to know.
No, so anyway, what happened with mine actually, so to conserve room, it actually, this iPad is like, oh, we've basically removed it, but it's still there. And that's what happened to me. So I had to re-download it because I didn't use it for like a day, and it was like, no, you need space. And I was like, no, and so I can't use it. So no, if you tried to buy something, I'm pretty sure it would decline you. But somebody just make the game again. Although Dr. Mario's coming to smartphones, so ouch.
Uh-oh.
Look out, people.
My mom is never gonna leave the house.
Neither am I. I love that game. I have all the. Oh wait, we got a super chat from Red Wolf. We can't leave that. Wow, thank you so much, Red Wolf.
Thank you, Red Wolf. That's awesome.
Thank you very much. Very generous of you. Would you guys like to see the Act 3 of Rise main heroes in battle? Down, all hope seems lost. You hear Yoda's voice. Ready you are. Luke comes back in action one more time. Saves the day. Yes or no? I'm not gonna lie. You know what? All BS aside, all whatever. Absolutely, I would want to see that. Now, if it doesn't make sense, I don't. But like, how geeked out would you be in the theater if all of a sudden you hear like, that's my Yoda. I can't do Yoda. I can only do Shmi. We know that. But then you hear like, and then like Luke just shows up with his lightsaber, and then you hear like, and like, and he's like going nuts and flips and all this awesome stuff that we never saw him do, but we know they can now, and he's just like going 8 balls to the wall. How would I not want to see that? Like, that is just like straight no nonsense. That is just the purest answer I can give. Absolutely 100% yes, because that is what I would play with my action figures. That doesn't mean it'll make a good movie, but that means that I would be totally geeked out, and that means that all these hate going on everywhere, everybody would just like, done. mic drop, Disney, take all my money.
If the Star Wars movies were written judging by your action figure adventures, every movie would take place in Bright Tree Village.
Oh my god!
And like I feel like this would be really funny if it's just like they straight out just copy the finale of Endgame where Rey is all like messed up and stuff and she's fighting all the bad guys and then all you hear is Rey on your left I am, and then all the Force Ghosts just come out of a portal. I like the idea if it's like the heroes, flesh and blood heroes, are fighting flesh and blood villains, but Palpatine as some kind of evil dark spirit thingy is helping out the flesh and blood villains. So we get that moment where the spirits of good join the fight. So it's like two tiers, you know, it's flesh and blood versus flesh and blood, spirits versus spirits. To see a ghost Luke fight a ghost Palpatine, I would do laps around the theater. I would. Yes.
Now I'm going to be disappointed if that doesn't happen. But I'm just getting this picture right now of like, I don't know, a Knight of Ren or Rey or Kylo. Somebody, and I'm not to say that Kylo and Rey are anything, but just like a lightsaber or a sword or something up against Rey's throat. And she's about to bite it. And everyone in the theater just kind of goes quiet. And there's like this subtle hush. And then it's just like this look, and then the camera, low angle camera looking up, and the wind's kind of blowing in either, I mean, Kylo's hair, sure, or a Knight of Ren's mask or whatever. And you're, and then Rey's like just like, this is it. She's trying to reach out and use the Force to grab something, but she can't. I don't know why. Her mind is being blocked by GVP or Kylo. Someone's blocking her foot. Like, she can't use the Force. So she's like, and then all of a sudden you hear, like in the sand, because everything's sand.
Yeah.
Ready you are. Or like slower, like ready you are. I don't know. That's a weird Yoda. But and then you hear pew 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 because gunfire.
And Yoda's in a mech suit and he's like, "Get away from her, you bitch!"
Yaddle shows up. The only thing is that's not going to happen because in The Last Jedi, he says, "What do you expect me to do? Take on the First Order with a laser sword?" And he does that at the end of the movie. So I think that they would see that and not do that. But now, ready you are, and Luke has kind of become this bigger Force ghost, like a more corporeal Force ghost, and he's able to do things, more tangible things. Maybe I just want to. Yeah, for sure. I mean, when we saw Force Awakens trailers, we were all thinking that on Starkiller Base, which we just knew as like Second Hoth, that we thought he was going to show up in that scene, right, when Finn had the lightsaber and stuff. I think it was even that first picture of Kylo in the snow. We're like, well, Luke's going to show up there. I think we all kind of had that feeling, and we never got that. And I think that ultimately is what ticked a lot of people off with The Last Jedi, is they were waiting for that moment that we've never gotten, because in our own personal mind, and not me though, but in personal minds, we all were expecting that Luke moment, and it never really came, and it sort of came in Last Jedi. But
that question came from Red Wolf.
Red Wolf, yes.
Red Wolf, you just raised the bar, my friend. You raised the bar.
Seriously, that is absolutely wild. But I guess Drunken Yoda keeps saying that we're only answering super chats. So I want to know what Drunken Yoda said, but I can't. You said his hair, that needs one hair, not hairs. He's like a Shrek, and I'm trying to figure it out, but I can't. I'm sorry. I'm trying to.
Don't worry, we love you, Drunken Yoda. We love you.
Yeah, we love you all. We're trying to read, but like when things goes up, and also I'm blind, and I'm trying to like.
Mm-hmm. We need to hire Aaron to be our reader.
All right, our very last then we got to wrap this thing up. This is from Semper Danny. Says, what are the odds that any of us get Jedi passes for Star Wars Celebration Anaheim on Friday? I'm not going to get one, so 0 for me. But if you want one, may the Force be with you, because it's going to be tough. It's gonna be tough. The Jedi passes sell out, I think, in like a matter of seconds. So you got to be on there, got to be ready. I think I know where you are. I don't want to say it here because I don't know if people know. But so your time zone would be there. So you're an hour. So it'd be an hour. So it'd be 10 a.m. I would go 10 a.m. So like 9:30, just be ready, and just refresh until 10, and then try your hardest probably, because Jedi passes are the only ones that sell it immediately. 4-day passes usually last a little while. This last celebration was really quick this year because there's no episode 9. I can see it happening. It's still taking a little bit. It's still being fast, but not as fast, I don't think. Andrew, anything?
Is the Jedi Pass, refresh my memory, what does that get you?
Everything. You get into everything. You don't have to wait. There's no lines. There's no nonsense. It's super expensive, but you pay for it and they give it to you. That's it.
So you get all the days, all the panels, you're guaranteed a seat, everything. Wow.
Yeah, and I think the store as well. I'm not sure that might be a lie, but I know the panels you get into, no questions. Yeah.
And that's probably what, like $700 or something?
I think like 7 to 9, somewhere in that range.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm good.
Yeah. Anyway, it's really hard to get, but try. I'm gonna go for the 4-day pass. Andrew, I don't know what you're gonna do. If you even go. Do we give an odd for the for Red Wolf's question? I'm going 70%. Why not? I don't care. I want it to happen, so I'm just gonna go high because that is awesome.
I'm gonna go order 66%. Because it should happen because it's fun.
Like Mr. P channel. What did it cost? Everything. in regards to the this Jedi count, the Jedi VIP pass, which who knows who will be on. I hope that the 4-day pass isn't Rey again though. That's all I hope. Just let's mix this up. Let's give us.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's do that. All right, guys, this has been so much fun. It was it's always a blast doing the live stream. I was really bummed that we couldn't do it on Monday. Glad you guys could stick around with us today on Wednesday to do it. Tomorrow, I think Brock and I are recording episode 131 tomorrow. So that'll be up Friday, I think. Also, our winner, Patreon. If you are not on Patreon, get on Patreon because all Patreon supporters will be in the draw to win a Saturday pass to Star Wars Celebration Anaheim, the Saturday pass. So get there. So we'll let everybody know. It'll be first thing Friday morning. We'll let you know that one on Patreon. Andrew, anything you want to say while we wrap this up?
I want to say that I love all of our odds today, and some of them made me think in very interesting new ways. I'm looking at you, Red Wolf. I have a whole different climax in my brain now for episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. So I'm just more excited than I was before. So
I'm not gonna lie, that odd actually kind of depressed me because now that's what I didn't even know I wanted it. Now I'm like, just like the thought of like everything quiet, then like, ready? Are you? Wait, how would Yoda say that? Ready you are. There you go. That's what Red Wolf wrote.
Ready you are. Yeah, ready you are.
Yeah, so I just tried to rewrite what was already written perfectly. That's my life. Smash that like button. Thanks, Girls with Sabers. Also, June 28th, Outlander Club podcast on iTunes. What did I say? iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, and maybe Stitcher. Check it out. That is awesome, Andrew. Your little thing there that you got for your birthday.
It holds things. It's great.
Girls with Sabers say that we're awesome, but no, Girls with Sabers. I don't even know which Girls with Sabers is talking about. I'm going to say it's both of them.
You are awesome.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Andrew, thanks for joining me. And until next time, may the force of others be with you.
Always.